Alright, I'm winging it because I'm too lazy to edit today. Not lazy, I don't have the energy. So, I'm going to talk about a couple different things that I don't know if I hope you can connect the dots. I've been really struggling. Maybe it's an attitude issue. I'm trying to quit nicotine, feeling conviction for, that. And alcohol, I don't excessively use it, but it makes me unproductive. Because drunkenness is the sin, right? But if you're slowly just having a beer here and a beer there, but sitting on the couch, it turns me into a sloth. So, and then it allows, I've noticed spiritually, for that subtle serpent voice to creep in and remind me and accuse me of every shortcoming that I have or issue like that, which in the midst of frustration turns into another drink. It never starts out like that, just out of sheer boredom and loneliness and not being able to stand living alone, not having, I don't know. Anytime I get around, even people at church, I have trust issues, and I think I'll be able to paint a better picture of why psychologically I have these trust issues, right? Even with people at a church. So we know, those of us that are Mandela affected, that reality, it's malleable. And to me, as I've said in many other videos, there seem to be some people around us that kind of get what's going on. Like, they understand, I don't know how else to say it, reality manipulation. That may sound insane. Let me paint the picture. I will try and link the past videos that I've spoken about things that don't add up. As I mentioned them, I'm not going to go into them in detail. There's been videos made about them, but I will remind you. The Mystery of Iniquity video that I made, I don't expect anyone to believe me. I don't expect a single person to believe me. As a matter of fact, I kind of expected everyone to go, well, yes, you're losing me here, you're nuts. But in that video, the things that are linked to it, you will see that I haven't went off course of what I was talking about when I tried to talk about subtle things that were a part of that realm. I know how insane that sounds, but I can't dismiss seeing a lady at a gas station and that little boy, and asking that. And I've never seen him before. But I know that I recognized her, and then she was at the hospital. And that's not the only time. Her brother, and it's happened multiple times. Different people, they just got their focus on me, or they're trying to hide it. They're unnaturally there, and I recognize them, but it's not. Anyway, I know how cuckoo that sounds. I get it. I'm not a nut. But if you put yourself in my shoes and you had gone through something like that, how could you? It stays in the back of my head. I've had family members look at me with like a serpent-like look, that aggressive happiness of them expecting some sort of destruction to come upon me, and so that's still there in the back of my mind. Yet I try to show them love and not make decisions based on that, but it affects my trust. I was going to start off by saying, small reality has a weird way. Let me prove to you that I'm still sane first. Reality has a weird way of kind of putting stuff in front of us, both good and bad, right? If you're doing something with ill-willed intentions, the whole reap what you sow thing. Here's a small example of like a good one, right? So I was doing these random thoughts. They were short clips, and I was going to put them together, and I watched the birds. I love birds, as most of you know, And I opened the video up, videotaping him, and I said, Father's love and blessings in a deeper voice. And I was like, that's a shout out to my boy. And then maybe 20 minutes later, Ron gave me a call, right? I know that doesn't mean much. But what are the chances of that? Vanessa VA has only talked to me maybe a few times. She included me in one of her videos, but we don't talk on the regular. Definitely not as much as me and Ron have spoken. And she commented on a video of when I was struggling with falling back into pain medicine and sort of backsliding, if you will, being around it and the temptation and all that, but feeling the conviction. And so I made the video, but it was 3 months old. However, the morning that she commented on it, I was going through that again. It was creeping. It was trying to creep back up. And what are the chances of that? Her commenting on a video saying, please hold strong. She was giving me encouragement. And this is like 2 months later, and then somebody comments while I'm going through something. And so that may not mean a whole lot to everyone, but I don't know. It's weird. There are things that stick out to me in reality, and I don't know if I really can paint a clear picture anymore. I'm exhausted, not like physically, but mentally, just because of I don't know, loneliness and not willing to just stop drinking and throwing away the nicotine. I'm working on it. I bought Nicorette, but the point is like if it was your last day, if you really wanted to live live for God, like it was your last day, I shouldn't be struggling like that, or I should just give in to His will and not my own. I feel like I'm putting a block in front of God, saying, "Move out of the way and let me work in your life," and I'm not. I'd appreciate the prayer. Now, maybe all this has sounded like a ramble. Here's the thing. Another story that I told about 2 cops having me down a long gravel road. They could have killed me if they wanted to. When his backup pulled up, he said, "That's my guy right there." And it was so weird to me the way he said it. I've mentioned in videos before of people perceiving me to be... It's like they have their mind set on this dude is a weird pervert or something like that. I don't know how to say it to make everyone understand, but it's happened so many times when I'm literally not doing anything but just standing in front of people doing nothing. Or I don't know why they perceive it that way, but it's happened too much to dismiss it. I don't believe in coincidences at all. When you reach 30 and 40 times, and then the thing with my dad, I'm not going back into that. You've heard the story. But these 2 cops showed up, not only at my cousin's wedding. My mother is a twin. Our family's pretty close. My little cousin that I was a lot closer with when I was a little younger, and my drug activity kind of destroyed our friends because he didn't want to be around me. I get that. But I go to his wedding, whole family's there. Guess who shows up? Guess who's in the wedding? Guess who's in the wedding? How does that happen? How does that happen? And then when you mention about something demonic, this black shadowy thing manifesting around you when you were there with those 2 cops, and they were getting excited and they were happy about the things that you could feel and see, and the absolute fear that they were getting even more excited, and then one of them's in the wedding and they're there together. Yes, he was there with his guy. There are things that I cannot dismiss, that I can't get out of my head. I know that God is in control. If it was something just as easy as, getting rid of somebody, it would have been done. Not that it's not that people can't do that. You can't walk around like a superhero. However, I think they have an understanding of the reap what you sow thing. and that's, God holds to his promises, and it's God's protection, God's love around us, and him not allowing a spirit to enter someone to end someone's life, or the fear of the repercussions of ending a child of God's life. Anyway, and it's not a hate relationship. I don't hate these people, but I'm worried and I feel isolated, because even when I get around people at church, there's just something off. Maybe that's why God has been saying, I'm all you need. Just pay attention to me, and I'll get you where you need to be. Because the reality breakdown of not moving to the place that I'm at until 2018. End of 18. And then the daiquiri shop thing. For those of you that don't know, there's a video called Abracadabra. I talked about this girl. I generically explained what she looked like. Short, little blonde-haired girl. A little bit shorter than me. But I said when I bumped into her, when I met her, and that I had met her when I was a kid, and that I had met her in front of hundreds of thousands of other people on Bourbon Street. Monday. It was right before Fat Tuesday. Mardi Gras 2016. The significance of that is that I didn't move here until 2018. I didn't know any of these people until 2018. And when the person that I'm renting from looked at the girl who looked so similar, it's not her, but she looked just like her, she gasped and then said, "Is that her?" And then I said, "Is that her what?" I played it off, and she just shut down, look of shock, like don't say anything. How you can't dismiss that or let it go, that people have access to hidden information. Quantum of Conscience talks about creatures in the back room, and I understand that he's talking about on a macrocosm scale, like the way September 11th or the way the government is run, or the way money is made, and just all of reality breaking down. But there seems to be something on the people, at least I'm noticing it. I don't know if I'm not trying to, maybe God's allowing me to see it because I can handle the pressure. I'm not handling it very well right now, but I'm in depth analyzing literally everything that goes on in my life. Ironically, except my own self-destructive practices and self-hatred, but I don't know. What I'm getting at is that there's these reality breakdowns that keep breaking down. I've said it enough that people, it's as if they can see into another world around us that we're not privy to. And I don't think that we're supposed to see it. There's something driving them, mostly fear, but not always fear, to get something done. And it doesn't ever really seem to, be to our advantage. At least not, maybe short term, but to destruction. And I don't know. I don't know if I could paint the picture clear enough. I can tell you that I've told a fraction of some of the stories where I felt fear and knew something was wrong, and saw people that were excited about something manifesting. I was related to some of them. 2 of them were cops. Others were friends. Others were bosses. There's something about those around me. I mean, like, what do they get? Is it like a magic wand once if you take the person's crown away? I'm not even that great of a Christian. Maybe that's why I'm a target. Not that a great Christian wouldn't be, but I'm easily slipped into just sin. can't edit that out. Not that it was anything I wanted to cover up, just the pause. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well. I'm stressed and isolated, and I do my best to have a fellowship locally. However, the church I go to, I met them through one of the people that's around me, so I don't really trust them either. And it's just, what do you do, man? You know, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. Look, you look for a fellowship with people, but then you're scared of being too close to anyone, and it's fear, you know. And I'm locked in a prison of my own thoughts, and because of that, it's like the sheep being away, not further from the shepherd, but he's not with the flock, you know. And when I'm around people that aren't, you know, I don't know, maybe my entire environment is, you know, like Job. Everybody was telling Job to just curse God and die. Just curse God and die. And God was allowing a spirit on to work through these people. My doubt is not in God. It's in myself and seeing how much of reality has changed around me. Now, I know that God is drawing my attention to these, like He wouldn't let me pick up on the most minute details of things and listen to songs from bands that aren't singing to Jesus and understanding what they really mean. Like, it's a knowing. It's not even like I need to interpret this like you would try to interpret another language. It's just like a knowing. I don't know how else to explain it other than that. Like Breaking Benjamin made one called The Darker View. It starts with a lightning, you know, it made me think of angel falling like lightning from heaven. And he fade away to the wicked world we left, and I become the dark of you. And maybe was that Freud? I think it was Freud was talking about one of the psychologists was talking about the dark. Everybody has this dark. The parable of the two wolves. You heard that? It's a better way of explaining it. Whichever one you feed, the dark one and the good one. And I only say that to say these aren't just lyrics. Like there's more. They write it poetically, but they're singing about some sort of power. I mean, I've seen real magic. It's not more powerful than God. It was done at a time when I wasn't living right. I'll just edit this in because it was a thought that I wanted to have in the video, but I forgot. Real magic, right? I mentioned this once before in a much earlier video. It's not that easy to see on this eye. Focus. You see that little scrape right there? That little indentation? Oh, there's one over here, and you can see it. They used to be, it was in one of my earliest videos, I mentioned that. Now, I wasn't born that way, and I haven't been injured. And when I first noticed it, it was a lot deeper. It's almost as if it's smoothing out and healing now. One day I just woke up with it. But that's a part of the magic that I'm talking about. But when I mentioned it, I was talking about something being taken. You could feel a pop, almost like, and you know exactly when it happens, and it's as if in the spirit world something is reaching out, grabbing, and it's manifesting in the physical, and you see it. It's happened time and time again. The eyes are the easiest way to explain it to you, and the easiest way to show it to you. Though it was a lot bigger when I mentioned it over a year ago, and so that's part of what I meant when I say I've witnessed real magic. It gets a lot darker, but I just keep that example in mind, and maybe that helps explain it a little bit. But I know that it's real. I don't know. I've rambled on long enough. I didn't do the best job of this. the point that I was trying to make in this video is something just isn't, I don't know. I'm missing something. But I see something operating with the people around me, and it doesn't matter if I go out into public. It's not paranoia. Someone mentioned to me that I should move, and I'm sort of working on that. It's taking longer than I wish it would, but financially, I just can't get up and go. But it's also been my experience that it doesn't matter where I go. I'm not fully confident that will work. As if it's been my experience. I've went an entire state over, like Louisiana, Mississippi, and there were people there waiting, just literally waiting. This wasn't a drug deal. It wasn't. I was just driving, and I don't know how to explain it. So I don't think that like trying to outrun something will work. And though there are people that do really nice things for me, I can't trust them fully. Anyway. There's a certain level of trust, you know, but there's just something here that is guiding them, and it's not. I don't know. Maybe God's letting me learn a lesson off of this. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but I know that it affects my trust, and it affects my state, my mental state, like. It turns it kind of unhealthy, like overwhelmed, unhealthy sort of thing. Just not hopelessness, but a feeling of being overwhelmed. And you know, I read my Bible, and I get comfort there, and I understand that at this point God is He's teaching me something because of what's about to change. But I don't know. I'm just sharing my thoughts. Look, I think I've rambled on long enough. I should have made it a live stream, but I didn't want to distract anybody. I didn't want to get distracted when I read. Maybe I'll do one later. I don't know. My life's an open book. I'm just saying reality breakdown after reality breakdown. Somebody that wasn't on Bourbon Street in 2016 can't look at a person 3 years later whenever they didn't know me and go, is that her? Because it looks just like her. Oh goodness, I shouldn't have said that. My mom's saying if you do it again, they're going to get to you. What is it? What is the thing? My dad in the house saying get in there and get it done. I know what he was trying to allow to happen from something from another place that doesn't exist here naturally, like something has to be done to bring it here, and he perceived something like that to be done, but I just never went into detail about what he was actually talking about, because it's just it's an evil thing. But we were the only two people in that house. There was Chop, he was there, but he had just thrown him in the kennel, and the way that people look at me, I'm not the way that I perceive them to look at me. The way that they are emotionally connected when I walk into a room, when I'm walking down the street, when I walk into a Walmart. Not everyone. It's not everybody. I'm not paranoid. I'm just... How do you explain it without sounding like you have paranoia? Because it's not paranoia. Like, I'm used to it. This has been my life since about a year, 2 years before I started making my videos. I don't know what this is. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I feel like I'm not doing enough, and I feel like I'm really hurting myself by not I'm not seeking the kingdom first. It's like no, I want to be. I'm a good guy, and I'm a Christian. I enjoy the relationship I have with you, God, but I'm stressed out. I don't like being home alone. I don't like being by myself. I can't stand really being in my own skin. So let's put a Band-Aid on it. And it's not excessive drinking. Well, I'm not drunk, but you see what I'm saying? Like I'm not giving it all to him. And it's wearing me down. I don't know. Maybe that's just a confess your sins to one another so something changed. That happened before. Really weird stuff started happening around my house, and I made a video really out of fear, but it did change the actions that I was doing in the past few days. One last thing. I'll try and shut it down after this. I did tell a story one time of, I don't want to make it sound like I hear voices. It's not like that. God has given me, when he says he gives and he takes away. It's not like a constant gift. Whenever I need it, God allows me to see things, to do things. They're amazing. You could be a healer in the exact moment with just pure faith and God wanting to use you as the vessel to heal a person, like drastically, like stand up and walk, like open your eyes and see, like real deal. That's possible. But I'm not specifically talking about healing. I'm talking about things that should be impossible, and hearing conversations that there are those around us, and ironically, some of the people that I mentioned and the examples that I've given were in some of these conversations. It's as if they had a crystal ball and they were using divination and they were looking in on the room, because they were seeing everything that I was doing, and I could hear everything they were saying and smell some of their perfume and their cologne. And none of these people should know each other. But then they were getting things wrong. So I know my mind wasn't making it up. It was as if, I don't know how to explain it, and I don't care how crazy I sound, but to say there are some people with abilities. Those things should be impossible, but there are some people with abilities to look into, to know things. And as amazing as that would be, they were still looking and judging everything through physical eyes, from however they perceived it. And they were getting these things so wrong and just being hateful. And it started to not even make sense whatsoever. And that's happened several times. Some of the people I was related to. And I told a story one time of one of the people that was a close friend of mine all through high school, and I'm saying, he's not one of us, to the rest of them. It was as if he was trying to get them to be in agreement, to I don't. It's not going to make sense, but he was trying to get them to agree with him that they didn't want me, they didn't want to be around me, to just get rid of them. And but don't look at that physically though. Like, just, it's different than that. And he said, he's not one of us. And he kept saying that, but he's not one, And that stuck with me. And I say all that because the way that all this works out, it makes me look crazy to those that just don't think that something like that's possible. Yet, those that were the ones doing whatever it was that they were doing, I don't, maybe it is as simple as a crystal ball, but I don't think so. They now know that I heard their conversation. You call that a truth drop, but for whatever they are, then I'm not. I didn't do that. God allowed me to hear it. It's not. That was God's power. I'm not some special like guru wizard. But I know that it happened. I know that it happened. So things like that, and that whole Mystery of Iniquity video, I don't expect anyone to believe it, but I know. I can't deny that happened, and the details of the conversations and the things that they were getting wrong and being judgmental and hateful, and it's just not something that my mind would have made up. Because I mean, as all this was going on, I'm going like, this doesn't even make sense, you know. I wasn't being as animated as I am now, but it just anyway, I told some of those stories because if everywhere I go, people that I've never met before seem to know at least something about me, because they always have that look on their face like, ha, that's him. Then I wanted to let them know that, you know, whatever I'm not, God's still allowing me to do some of the things that they're doing. But use it for him, or at least for my protection. It's not me doing it. But anyway, I don't know if any of that made sense. Look, I just wanted to make this video because I'm struggling, and this was something that's heavy on my heart, and that I've just, it's been pounded on my spirit that this is my environment, and I'm not helping with the you know, drinking and nicotine. But I don't, people say, well, just stop, you know. And it's, I mean, the ringing in my ears is so loud. I'm just not comfortable in my own skin. I don't know what to do. I don't, you know, I talk to God, like, you know. But I haven't got, not a clear, I feel the conviction to stop, but it's the stress. It's the, I know that you're here, you're protecting me, but it's this overwhelming, and then things happen to me in my sleep, dreams. You know, I made the video about the dreams being something demonic within them, like there's intention in it, and it's, I'm not going into detail about it. Maybe I'll make it in another video, but it just over and over, and it'll wake you up and then wake you up, and then, you know, 3-4 times a night, and then just horrible dreams. And they seem to be attacking me most in my sleep, and then trying to use some form of magic within the dream. I guess from an accusation standpoint, but I know that God knows exactly what that is. I don't understand why. Anyway, so look, I'm gonna shut it down. I know that I didn't do the best job on this one. Maybe I'll elaborate later. Put yourself in my shoes. If the things that I've talked about, and if you're familiar with those other stories, I'll link them, you know, another day. If you come back and watch it, I'll have them lined up with when I talked about them. But if you had experienced those things and seen some of these different things and witnessed reality breakdowns, maybe on the most minute level of you know, the things with family and other people saying stuff, what, you know, how do you handle that? By the way, I'm not saying Ron and Vanessa are one of them either. I'm saying that reality, what are the chances of me, you know, giving a little shout out to my buddy and him calling me? We don't talk every day. And then the same day that I'm struggling with pain medicine being brought up and being put back in my life, then I got a message from her on a video that was about people asking for prayer, and I'm struggling right now, but it was 2 months old. So I'm not saying that it's one big giant conspiracy against me. I'm not even lumping any of these people in the same boat. I'm just saying, what are the chances of Ron and her contacting me in 2 different situations, and then those other reality breakdowns? You know what I mean? So, what is reality? Like, what is this place? What makes me so different? Why is there so much focus on me from people around me, like they go to work, they live regular lives, but they have a knowing, and there's a focus. There's a focus. Like what is this place? Anyway, God bless. Hope it made sense. And y'all have a good day. Maybe I'll live stream or something later. I don't know. Contact me. Yeah. Anyway, bye.